All right. How we doing, folks? Craig Mack here, Liberty Bell Beekeepers. I got a train coming through. How we all doing? Probably can't see me, but I'm pretty sure you can hear me. Focus is on the bees, not on me. So we're here in mid-February, February 13th. We're looking at an absolutely stunning day. Right about 60 degrees, sun, limited clouds, just an absolute gorgeous day. And as you can see probably in the video, the bees are out and moving. And they probably will be all week. I went through another hive earlier and my dang camera shut off on me in the midst of the inspection. So I'm gonna do another one here with this colony. Now, this is just 5 frames. I'm going to reposition my camera here down here. It's a 5-frame nuke. It has overwintered in this. Now our winters are reasonable here. We have the potential for blizzards, and we also have the potential for 60-degree days in February. So that's the one we're looking at today. So that's what we're going to talk about. Now, I'm a big proponent of getting inspections in as early as you can. Now, that doesn't mean midwinter, although some people will flip lids and you know, add pollen patties or sugar bricks or whatever they're going to add to them if they need it. I generally don't do any of that unless I absolutely have to, and even still, I don't generally do it. So today we're going to take a look through this 5-frame. I already went through another one. I went through 10 frames in another box. Well, I only went through about 3 frames, but it was a 10-frame setup. 10-frame deep nuke, and then a 10-frame, or I'm sorry, a 5-frame deep nuke, and then a 5-frame deep super. So 10 total frames. So this one is just a nice small colony, so I'm going to work with this one. It'll make it more efficient for video and all that good stuff. So my winter setup, I have this inner cover here that I built to 1.5 inches deep. I figured if in the eventuality that I needed to feed in the wintertime, I could do so in this without having to open up the whole hive, and the bees could still access it. As you can see, they've built through the hole and up and into the lid and into the foam board. So I use a 2-inch foam board on top of my hives under the lids. On almost all of them. Not all of them have it. And my yard isn't exactly standardized, but most of my setups are like this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick that shim board up. Again, this is 5 frames. That's it. 5-frame deep. I've overwintered 5 frames before. This winter has been pretty mild so far. We're not out of it yet. We're still in mid-February. We got about 6 more weeks where we might have a problem with winters. We get those nor'easters in March that bring blizzards, and you know, there ain't much you can do about that. We'll get these 60-degree days on a day like today, but you know, the potential for inclement weather is still upon us. So I don't want to, you know, count my chickens before they're hatched, and I generally don't even count any of these until we get to March. You know, I don't count them as survivors until I can get them into March, and then we can kind of go from there. That might be a better spot. Yeah, that looks okay. It is, again, a beautiful day. Shorts, pants and a long sleeve t-shirt, and I'm in good shape. I wear thermals almost all year, well, all winter. Anyway, so here we go. Again, this is only 5 frames. I keep my colonies small because I do sell nukes. And I turn a lot of hives over through sales. I also do removals, and I tend to split my removals up when I get in because I always have queens around that need a little boost. So I find that this works out well for me for here, keeping as many as I do in an urban environment. I feel like it's better on the bees, keeps the colony size smarter, their demand for resources less. And again, it works out for me really well for weight and everything as well. So I've got my outer frame. As you can see, it's almost cleared out of honey on that side, and it's probably about 75% clear on this side, as you can see. I'm going to check my cells, check out the bees, see if I got any visual confirmation of mites. I do not treat for mites. I believe it should be on the bees to have that responsibility of learning how to deal with the mites. The more we interfere with that, the stronger the mites get and the weaker the bees get. So I'm in treatment-free camp for that reason. I want to have healthy, strong bees and not have to worry too much about, you know, really taking care of them with any kind of treatments, natural or chemical. So this frame is a bit heavier. This has some more bees, of course, on it, but it's also got a nice nicely full of honey. They started to eat some of it out of there, of course, as you can see there, but this side's much thicker with bees. So what I'm looking for in these early inspections is I'm really looking for a couple of things, not much. I'm looking for resources. I'm looking to see if they have any pollen coming in, which we do have some pollen coming in. I don't know what its source is. And I'm also looking for the start of the brood season. The bees, you know, produce brood, I think almost all winter here. It might be different in colder locations, of course, and in warmer locations. They're already doing grafting in Florida, and the bees are on their way to the almonds. But bees here in Philly, it's a little bit later in the year before all that starts happening. So I got a nice healthy bit of bees going on. I have my queen on this side. She's unmarked. Let's see if you can see her in the video. There she goes down at the bottom there. She was crossing over, crossed back, but that's her right there, moving her way across this frame. The queens this time of the year are smaller. Her reproductive system is going to ramp back up, and she'll grow in size. That abdomen of hers will really start to increase in size. Right now she's still pretty slim, but as she ramps up, that'll engorge a bit. So good to see her. Happy that I spotted her. She's unmarked. And I'm just going to try to push bees around a little bit here so I can get a look inside cells. And I can see, yes, I have eggs. I have eggs in this frame. I have some capped brood in this area here. So the queen has been laying for several weeks. Obviously you can tell that, well, at least almost 2 weeks, because that's our capped brood there. That's going to be our new bees, our new workforce at the beginning of this year. A couple of larval stages there. But all in all, it looks pretty good. This one only having 5 frames, I'm going to go through all 5. Well, probably only go through the first 4. The last one I'm anticipating it just being a honey frame anyway. But these little hives are great because their inspections are quick. You can keep a lot of bees. I can still pull a lot of honey off of this roof. You know, I get upwards of 50 to 60 hives up here. And between my cutout honey and the local forage, which I think is going to be affected this year, I have plenty of sustainability in this area. So this frame's lighter in weight, but heavier in brood. You can see all down in here. Oh, don't like using a bunch of smoke on the bees. Oftentimes you can kind of just bully them with your finger a little bit and they'll move. They don't like being touched like that, but there you can see a whole bunch of capped brood in the center of this frame as well. On both sides, probably about a softball size patch of capped brood, and of course all stages around it. So again, when I'm looking at this inspection this early in the year, I'm just getting a general assessment of what the bees are doing. Where is their reproduction at? You know, if I was seeing full frames of brood, then I've been thinking, okay, swarm season is coming earlier this year. Spring is coming a bit earlier. We've already got some evidence that we might have an early spring. There's something in bloom that's putting pollen out in the area. So I'm going to keep an eye out. You know, I'm hoping, looks like the next couple of weeks we got similar temperatures in the 50s. And maybe touching on the 60s. I think this week we got a 65-degree day. So I'll be keeping an eye out on these bees, so that way I'm not missing the swarming signs. It'll happen real soon. And doing these inspections this time of year is a fantastic way of preventing that swarming behavior. You know, it's going to happen. The bees swarm. That's what they do for reproduction. Being an urban beekeeper, and any kind of beekeeper for that matter, we have always best practices in trying to keep the bees in the box, try to prevent swarming through splits or selling them off or some kind of manipulation of space. So it's important to get in there, especially if you get a gorgeous day like today or a week like this. We're going to have warm temps. Get in there and take a look, so that way you're not missing out on that swarm behavior. People miss out, and their bees swarm all the time. And you know, well, when was your first inspection? Oh, mid-April. Oh, guess what? Mid-April's way too late. You need to be in mid-March, 6 to 8 weeks before you think your swarming's going to happen. Get in and check those bees. See, I can do the bee mass now, looking at that box, looking at that capped brood, looking at the eggs around it. Now I can get a general idea of what my population's going to look like in 2 to 3 weeks, just based on doing the work, doing the math of what I'm seeing on the frame. Timeline of development, hugely important. Get to know that. Be familiar with it. It's really, really helpful to understand that timeline. It'll save you a lot of headache and heartache with that swarming behavior as the year goes on. So all in all, pretty good so far. I got a lot of active bees. I think I went into winter with somewhere close to 40. I think I'm in, I don't know, the low 30s now. So I don't even know what my loss percentage is. I generally don't pay too much attention to that because I always get bees, and bees are easy to come by in certain areas, and this area is easy to come by. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Like and subscribe if you want to see more. I know the channel's going to be changing a little bit. I'm going to be adding some more to the channel, non-bee related things, as well as the continuation of Liberty Bell Beekeepers, because that is my job and I do love doing this. But all big things coming up. Hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy the rest of your day, and check on those bees. Later.